Hi everyone, so welcome back. It's Mindset Explosion. We're on season 3, episode 21. I've been joined today by the awesome Adam Lloyd, and we're going to talk a bit about nutrition, exercise, and immunity, and as well some of our thoughts about, well, obviously this subject during and things that have been going on, during lockdown, and what maybe to kind of a little bit of guidance what to maybe do after we come out of lockdown. I know some people are and stuff like that. So how are you doing, Adam? You all good?
Yeah, I'm good. It's been a strange time since we last spoke, hasn't it? But yeah, we're finding a way through now, I think.
Definitely. Well, I kind of got off subject a bit. You were out teaching your street, weren't you? You had your whole street doing exercise. I said that.
Yeah. Do you know, that was amazing because my wife just started a WhatsApp group with some of her friends on the street and that, and then they said, well, why don't we need to get fit? We're not going to do anything here. This is a nightmare. And it was just a week before we went into I think full lockdown, whatever it. We were on social distancing but not full lockdown. And so and I thought, oh look, there's going to be like 2 people out there, and so we went out. I put something together, and we had like the people down the end of the street were coming up and trying to join in, and then it was fantastic. And I think BBC Radio Gloucestershire got hold of it, and then I ended up on just doing some fitness stuff on the evening show with the fellow there, which was John Smith, which was great. It was just and again, it was totally out of my comfort zone, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, I guess in our line of work, we've kind of been forced. We were just saying, really, because we're self-employed, and we've got clients. We're trying to, keep. I guess we end up putting our clients first a lot, and the community as well. I guess, which is
yeah, and I guess you don't end up in this type of industry by accident. I think you've got I know you do, we want to kind of help as well. So it's I've got that element to it. And I guess it's more of a challenge trying to sort of balance the business side of it rather than, trying to do the other the stuff that I'd just do anyway. If 20 people wanted to come for a run with me, then let's go, go. I'm going anyway. So come with me.
I love that attitude as well. And I think it's just, I think it's been important, especially at the beginning. And how have you found, we was talking off camera, like I said, I've noticed with a lot of my clients, it was probably about a few weeks ago, you could, I just thought, thank God you joined in the class today, because you could see on their faces, the whole thing mentally had taken a toll. By the end, they just seem to pick themselves up again. So how have you found that?
Yeah, I've definitely seen the same thing. I mean, I think we know from a sort of physiological point of view that if you move your body, you start to exercise, there's a response, and that is a positive response. And so at the end of that hour, 40 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is that you decide to do, by moving your body, you're gonna feel better. And I, like you, people who were maybe sort of quite a heavy energy at the start and maybe just didn't want to join in with stuff and feeling a bit tired, by the end of it, they're smiling and thank you. Yeah, I'm so glad I did it today. And I guess, that's what it's about, isn't it? I think we all have that. I kind of think myself lucky sometimes that I've got an attitude that I like exercising, so I will do it, but I don't always have that, And we're definitely seeing people, as time has gone on, there's a kind of monotony and hopelessness that comes with that monotony that I think people have struggled with. And like you rightly said before we got on air, that we have to let people know that there's an antidote to that. There is an antidote to that, and we've got it. And it's not there's multiple different ways of delivering that. But movement is absolutely key, and as we'll get into today as well, eating healthily and kind of having that being someone living in a body that you want to respect, not dropping litter in your own house type of thing.
Yeah, well, we talked about that as well. I feel, and probably everyone's saying this, but I'm sure, I hope most people are going to appreciate these things coming out of, as we slowly start to come out. Frustratingly, I'm going to say it, Adam, but our business, why are we the last? But hey, never mind. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
But maybe because we're always there, I don't know. But yeah, so coming out, I feel, there's a lot going on today. It's we got the whole thing going on in America, which has become global, which good, because hopefully that can change things with the Blacked Out Tuesday day. But I just feel we got to come out and see things differently. And we said not everyone will, and kind of start respecting our bodies and our mental health. Because
I totally agree, and I think that there's a sort of a fundamental thing here that we all share as human beings. We share a thing, a commonality, and I think that if we deny some of that stuff, that's when the divisions start to happen. So I think this sort of one of the sort of keys to this is just being vulnerable. Us showing another person that we're not, just because you could do martial arts, I can do running on hills, it doesn't make us better or different. We're still vulnerable as people. And I think if you can open yourself up, if we as a whole sort of society in this country, but obviously that's wider than this at the moment. We're so open as a community. We can see everything that's going on. I think the reaction is about being able to open ourselves up and say, I don't, sometimes I don't know what to do, and sometimes I find these things like really difficult to deal with or really difficult to talk about. And I've seen, like you, there's lots of stuff on social media platforms and things like that, and I don't know what to say. Like I really don't know what to say, and that everything has my support and my backing, but I saw that fella kneeling on that chap, and I'm like, what is going on? It's hard, really, really hard.
Maybe it's just like the world, universe, whatever you want to put it, is fighting back. We're all getting stuck in the naughty corner.
Yeah.
For different reasons. Just the way this year is. But the whole point of that is to be able to reflect and then think about, going forward. Kind of went off subject a bit, but important stuff. So in terms of obviously what your with your business, Adam, so a little bit more about that.
So Adam Lloyd Wellbeing. So got the website up, adamlloydwellbeing.com, and Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all on Adam Lloyd Wellbeing. So my thing is nutrition. I think I might have said this to you last time, that my thing was nutrition. But halfway through my studying of nutrition, I started back in 2012 studying nutrition. Ended up at the University of Worcester doing a master's, which I have to do my dissertation in the master's yet, and realized that the exercise so talking about nutrition but not being able to talk about exercise, just I needed to do both. I felt strongly that I needed to do both, so did my personal training qualifications as well. And I find that as I'm going along in my nutrition practice, I'm sort of specializing in sports nutrition, so that's where my interest lies, and I guess in my PT practice as well, that's where my special, that's the special interest, is getting sports people in, and maybe if it's an endurance athlete, getting them to lift weights and taking them to with research, with the backing of the research, showing them what might be possible, doing different activities, but then also like everything, just helping the normal run-of-the-mill people on the street who've got maybe 5K goals, or just couch to 5K goals. That's a kind of phrase that we use now. So all that and in between.
So I guess you'll with each client is very individual, and I guess you're just tailoring things around what their needs are then.
Yeah, and so absolutely, I think one of the most important things that we always find with the research. So at the moment, I'm looking at research around how you support energy intake, right? So this is my I'm trying to write something and get some information out there at the moment, and you can say that we need as a male of 40 years old, you need X number of calories in, and that will be taken in the research as a round, and we'll be getting that average from lots of different studies, lots of different participants. But you'll always have that outlier at the top there that needs 2,800. And you'll always have someone down the other side who needs 1,600, So you can never, I think one of the responsibilities of the nutrition practitioners and exercise practitioners is we're aware of the averages, but you've got to treat the outlier. If you get an outlier, you've got to deal with that. So, and a lot of that is just trial and error and being open and not having the answers when a client first walks through your door. Not saying that there's a phrase around this. I can't remember what it is, but the more you find out, the less you know. Does that make sense? There's something like, the more you kind of read and the more you, particularly with nutrition, there's just so much research out there. There's so much being done at the moment. You could say, well, should I eat high carb? Should I eat low carb? And all that type of stuff. And I think that the way I always come back to in my practice is that it's the individual, and I let's see what works, and we may get that wrong. I think that's important. I may get that wrong, and you got to be able to have that. And I guess that again, that commitment. This is why personal training works so well. Is that people don't come to one session of personal training and then go away. That's an accepted thing now. I need that accountability. So I'm going to come to you, and it's yes, it's your knowledge, but it's also the fact that you're there, you're in the gym, and you've planned out the session, and you're going to make me accountable for that. And I think
there's an outcome at the end. Sorry, Adam.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
There has to be an outcome, and for
Absolutely.
as a client to understand that, and it's not just go and get fit. Well, what's the outcome of that? Or, why? What? Same with martial arts. What's the outcome that you want from? And everyone is different because I think whatever they're coming in, like I said, it's an individual. It's what is it you want? What are you moving? Where are you now? Where were you? Where are you now? Where are you going to go? And then,
yeah, I totally agree. And again, sometimes as exercise professionals or nutrition professionals, the temptation can be that, just keep coming back. Just keep coming back. It's great. This works. But actually saying something like, give me 3 months. And if it's core strength you want, give me 3 months. Let's see the difference we can make, and being accountable to that, and me being accountable to that, and having some measurable things in there. And that's not right for everybody. Some people just come in and want to do their thing every week, and that's their exercise, and they enjoy that. And that's maybe like what we were talking about at the start. It's maybe more of a mental health thing rather than a physical health thing. But I think it's important that we can be. That we're open to being accountable as well for what the goals are and what the outcomes are.
Yeah, definitely. So, so you focus mainly with people like within sport, but you kind of said, outside of the athlete.
Yeah. I mean, I like to think that in some of the research around sports, I think they give us quite a nice analogy for everyday life as well.
Yeah.
So the sportsman will put him or herself under pressures through their training and things like that, and then the research will study that, and then what's the outcome. So let's take the energy in, energy out thing, and we can move on to immunity. But like, what happens if we don't meet the energy requirements? What happens to the athlete? Well, they become fatigued. Mental fogness comes in. There's these types of negative outputs that they don't improve in their athletic abilities, what they want to do. But the same could be said for the guy who's a marketing manager in town. The stresses are slightly different. it's work stresses. It's you know, it's not maybe muscular stresses so much. It's more mental stresses. But this, you know, that I think that sports nutrition and the study of sports nutrition can also be very informative into a window into normal everyday life. I guess normal everyday life, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. And you're totally right. And just you saying it there, you know, it's a good highlight. I think, let's say that office person, or whatever other job we got. And at the moment, there's so much, you can't help it. It's there, it's on the news. Even if you turned off all your social media, and you're still isolated at home, and there's some sense of fear, and there's so much confusion at the moment. So even more, you don't realize how that impacts us sometimes. I was saying in an interview yesterday to two ladies, and it starts to tear you. You can think. I always thought I couldn't be influenced by any negativity, but we do. It's just there. So that's why the stuff that you're doing and is so important. So
yeah, and I think with that, Matt, as well, that it's important to say that us as humans were made up as different factors, So exercise is a factor, nutrition is a factor, but so is our family life, so is our work life, so is how we relax. These are all, with us in the center here. These are all things. So I think, again, for me, it would be wrong to say, well, get your nutrition right and everything falls into place. That's the one thing. No, it's not. No. I think that commonly when you look at these things in more detail, God, sit down and talk to somebody and find out what it is that drives them or winds them up. And everybody's got slightly different things that can all fit into these different categories, and that's definitely, and we know that the research has shown us that our mental state has a direct output on our health, and we could get into. I mean, we don't need to make it complicated. It's around hormones, our hormonal response to things that are going on. It's around cortisol. It's around adrenaline and how we produce these neurotransmitters and these hormones in our bodies. And then they have to be dealt with, so it has to be that we're creating some of my guys that I really look up to in sports nutrition. I'm just starting I'm on the course this week. I'm supposed to be in Kingston Uni this week, but we're doing it online now. And Ian Craig at the Centre for Integrated Sports Nutrition talks about this load and everything goes into that load, and then how you eat. So again, we go back to that office person. If you're skipping lunch for for every day for the last month or two because you're so busy at work, well, where's the nutrients that your body needs? Like, I think we can all accept that we need food to propel ourselves, but it's not just as simple as carbohydrates, protein, and fat. We've got to get the micronutrients. We've got to get there's something called phytonutrients, which are like these amazing compounds which give fruits and vegetables their colors, and they're doing amazing things in our bodies, and we've got to I think we've got to get to, we don't necessarily have to understand what they're doing, because I think you can get complicated. What does zinc do in the body? What's zinc's role? What's vitamin A's role in the body? I think we should maybe focus more on a holistic approach to that and say we need all of these things. There might even be some that we haven't found yet that will be called vitamins in 20 years time that we don't know about. And we need them all. They're in foods, but they're in good foods, and we need to sort of propel ourselves with all of that good stuff.
Yeah, no, I think you highlighted some great stuff there, Adam. Especially it made me think how very often me sometimes I'm too busy to do this, and the thing is, it's like the 7 habits highly effective people. The last one is sharpen the saw, right?
Yeah.
So it's like we're trying to then, say you don't eat today, you skip a breakfast, skip a meal, decide you're not going to do the exercise, even if it was 10 minutes. Because it doesn't have to be, vigorous exercise, does it? It's just when we miss that thing, it's like, well, now that saw to cut down a tree's just got a little bit blunter, and then later on, it's just going to still be blunt. So you end up spending hours and hours cutting this tree down, when if you just took the time to sharpen it, it would cut down, much quicker, really. So
yeah, and I think, Matt, with that, I think it's important to say that like everybody is affected by that.
Yeah.
And particularly, we talked about sort of the mental health or the mental state, the energy levels of our clients during this time, and just people in general. But eating wise, like I'm eating more crisps than I've ever done, and crisps are all right, no problem with that. But if I eat crisps at around about 5:30 and I'm about to have dinner at 6 and I lose my appetite because of that, then I'm really I'm disappointed, because I know what's happening there.
Yeah.
I've dampened down the response to eating. I've missed an opportunity. I talk to my clients about, you get 3 opportunities in our tradition, whether that's right or wrong. You can we can talk about the research another time on that. But in our tradition, we get 3 opportunities to get the nutrients in. So don't waste it by losing your appetite, because your appetite is your signal to know that you're going to be able to digest this stuff. You're in the right split. And we all know that feeling of, it could be whatever meal really, is your real go-to meal. It might be a roast dinner. It could be a vegetable curry, whatever it might be for somebody. When the plate sits in front of you and you're really hungry, I mean, you can't beat that feeling. And that's because you're going to digest that stuff well then. Your stomach's in the right place. You're hormonally in the right place. Your hydrochloric acid is going to be there. So there's reasons for why we feel these things, and if I'm to have a big bag of kettle crisps, nothing wrong with kettle crisps, but just before I eat, then I've dampened that response. My stomach thinks we've eaten, and it goes, okay, well, I'm not so hungry anymore. We've eaten. Thanks very much. And then later down the line, when the liver's looking for those nutrients to help do the stuff it needs to do, maybe they're in short supply, and maybe we're having to struggle, and maybe our volumes and levels within the body are coming down. And ultimately, that and we've seen this. There was a high profile case, I think, towards the end of last year, where a young fella in the north, lost his eyesight. And it was put down to nutrient deficiencies, where he lost his eyesight. And perhaps in our area of the country, perhaps we're not talking about deficiencies. Maybe we're talking about functioning optimally or just functioning below optimum. But it has and it's okay to not do it one day. It's okay to.
Yeah.
I can see them all down there. So I'd be lying to you if the kettle crisps weren't in. They're down there.
Well, I love that, because I think it highlights that we're human.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's okay. And I think it's a bit aware of anything. And I think that it knocks onto mental health, fitness, time with family. We know, everything's. It's like we're all spinning plates. We're all plate spinners. Mm. It's just being, and I think, well, okay, if I have this is what's going to happen. And then you got the choice. It's like, well, do you know what? Okay, I'm going to do it, or no, not today. I'll put it off. I'll wait.
Yeah.
It takes a bit of training, but
it
works well hiccups now.
Yeah. No, just thinking about it. Brilliant. Yeah.
So that's great content, Adam. I'm gonna have to finish up, I'm afraid. But
cool.
Yeah, sorry, because I think we'd talk all day.
We would, mate. We would.
Yeah. No, thanks for coming on. Is there any just before we finish up? So, what things you got going on at the moment? Is there any events that you've got coming up, or is it just online training?
Yeah, so online training. So got slots available for there, and sessions available there. Hoping to get back to the gym maybe July, August. Yeah. Hopefully, let's see. And particularly working with young athletes. So if there's any parents with up and coming, their children are up and coming young athletes. Particularly interested in working with people like that, and maybe help to get these sort of the habits and the behaviors around food in a good place with them right at a young age. So that's where I'm at.
Oh yeah. No, brilliant, Adam. I love that. That's important. Probably a good time to get started if they're in that category where they're not quite at back to school yet, I guess, as well. So
yeah, and definitely.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, they're in good hands. Always a pleasure talking to you, mate. So I feel like I've known you longer. It's only about the third time we spoke properly.
No, I feel the same.
No, you have me on the edge of my seat. But yeah, no, thanks for coming on, and I'm sure everyone in your community that the extra stuff you've been doing are pretty grateful. And I think sometimes people don't always they see us. They probably see you with just all right, it's just doing this, but you're doing so much outside of your business to bring people on, really. So yeah.
You too, mate. I'm following your lead.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. You can get in contact with Adam. The link will be above, and obviously you can message him as well. All right. Peace, love, and good health. All right.